Hello everyone, Warhammer here, and welcome to a new Let's Play series for the channel. Now last week, my new mass campaign was finished with us restoring the old Nehecaran Empire under the reign of High King Tutankhamun. But with the campaign completed then, I asked you guys what we should do next, and taking aboard your feedback and suggestions, I decided that for this playthrough, we're going to go back to the old world and check out some of the new mechanics that have been introduced to the Empire with the latest updates. Not only that, but the Empire has also got a few new regions added to the map, including the Moot being made its own province and other additions, as well as things like the fort system and things like that. So very excited to try it out, because the last time we played as the Empire was actually way back in Warhammer 1. So things have changed quite a bit since I last played as them, but I'm very excited to do so. Now with these new additions, with the mechanics, things have become a lot more political, and so choosing a character was going to be an interesting choice, but decided with the political game that we're going to have to play, the only choice really is the Emperor himself, Karl Franz. Now what I do like about this game is that as it's introduced, Karl Franz has only recently been elected Emperor by his peers, the other elected counts, and so he still has to earn their respect as Emperor, despite in the law him actually getting all but one vote in his favour. So what we're going to have to do then is actually work with the elected counts, increase their fealty, and try and get them on board as we unite the Empire once more. But we'll see how the campaign goes in the meantime. Now before we actually get started though, I just want to go over the faction and lord effects, because I know people are interested in those, and I do have a mod that I'm using for this series called the Lords of Legend Faction Lord Trait Overhaul mod, which just balances up the lord and faction traits, not just for the legendary lords but the generic lords as well, to make them a bit more powerful, but also applies to every faction, so everyone gets a bit of a boost in order to balance them out fairly equally. So, Karl Franz here, if we pop onto his faction effects, you can see he's got Diplomatic Relations plus 20 with Empire Provinces, plus 2 Recruitment Rank for Lords, 10% Campaign Movement, 15% Upkeep Reduction for Rakesguard and Greatswords, and all of his units will get plus 1 Recruitment Rank. Onto his lords then, not only does he have a plus 8 leadership bonus, but he also gets plus 5 melee attack and melee defense for all units, representing the fact he is the Emperor, and so naturally he's going to have the best of the best when it comes to his army. Now there is other mods I'm going to be using in his playthroughs, such as the Closer to Tabletop Overhaul, the Tabletop Caps mod, and other ones that you can find in a collection linked in the video description as always. The one I will mention now though is that I have the Empire Reloaded mod, which is currently on the front page of the Steam Workshop. It just adds a bunch more to the Empire gameplay from what I've read through, such as new dilemmas and things like that, so I thought it'd be quite a cool addition. But we'll go see how it goes. But in the meantime, enough of me talking, let's hit start campaign, and I shall see you all on the campaign map in just a moment.
The greenskin threat is extinguished, sire. Yet the fight to secure your rule has only just begun. The Empire is beset by civil war once more. Secessionists hostile to your election as Emperor are trying to form a breakaway province to the south. Advance, crush them, and bring the lands back to your sovereign rule. To the north, Boris Todbringer of Middenheim, a bitter rival in the recent election, is openly hostile. A clash with Todbringer and the wolves of Middenland may well be unavoidable if you wish to unify the Empire. Plan for this eventuality. The Empire has ever been besieged by foes, but you are a prince of Altdorf. Greatness runs in your very blood. Make the Heldenhammer proud.
I shall try. I shall try. Although, straight away I'm kind of reminded of something that bothered me back in Warhammer 1, when you had to first of all work your way up to get the Galmoraz. You had to get the Runefang first, and then you get Galmoraz. I would have just loved to see the character model for the Emperor, change to have a sword to Galmoraz once he's earned it, but that's just me. Anyway, welcome to the campaign map, ladies and gentlemen. Let's first of all get rid of our old advisor, And we got a bit of information here about the new mechanics. PO 14 Prestige, you can just read through these if you fancy, and the Elector counts. There is an excellent video on YouTube by a chap, if I remember his name correctly, Italian Spartacus, that I watched last night in preparation for this video, and he explains the new mechanics very straightforward, and really did help me prepare myself for this playthrough. So I'm not just going into this blind. Luckily I know what to expect, more or less, when it comes to these new mechanics. So we'll click this, and we've got our first mission. Defeat an army belonging to the following faction, Empire section... Christ. Secessionists. Thank you. Our enemies gather to strike against us once more. Attack first and deny them the opportunity to reach full strength. Right. We get 300 prestige and 1,000 in the treasury for it. Okay. Now, usually the army is just down here. And within movement range of Karl... Is he? Oh no, hang on. That's Karl Franz. Who's that? Oh yeah, Lufa Huss. So he's our legendary hero. He's a character that's been introduced with Mixu's legendary Lords pack, and he's the Prophet of Sigmar, as you can see here. An interesting choice to join up with my army, although I believe he's supposed to be much better to add to Volkmar's army when we actually get him as a recruitable Lord. But for the moment he can join with Karl Franz. Now, we've got this army right here, led by Helmut Ludenhoff, so I think we're just going to have Karl Franz head down here straight away to attack him. So we'll move him here, we'll get Lufa Huss to come and join him, like so. Having two very powerful heroes and lords in the army should really help out in the upcoming fights. And then, let's go and deal with them. Now it's going to be a very easy fight, so I'm just going to auto-resolve this first battle. Don't see the need of fighting it just for the sake of it, you know? Well, you guys know me by now anyway, most of you. So, we're going to manage to get some income. We're going to go and take on the captives to get a bit of replenishment. We completed the mission. Okay. Capture Grunberg. So, if we capture this, the breakaway city of Grunberg lies relatively undefended. Reclaim it to send a powerful message to all those who doubt your authority. So we got 1,000 treasury, and most importantly, we get +1 Imperial Authority. So, if we click this, get Apprentice Wizard as well. Not that really matters, since we can't recruit a wizard yet. But the Imperial Authority, for those of you that haven't checked out the mechanics yourself yet, is this bar up here. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of red, and if we get it to the minuses, we're in a lot of trouble, especially if we get this far, where all the other Elector accounts will fight me. We don't want that. At the moment we're at 0, stagnant, where we actually get a bit of a penalty to growth. But if we complete this, we actually get this one, which as you can see has a chance of increasing the fealty of each Elector count, and gives us extra growth and tax rates. Not only that, but the more we get, the more likely we'll be able to use it then to confederate with other Elector counts. So we want to try and keep it up as high as we can. So let's get him to come down and attack Grunberg. Again, nice easy auto-resolve, we'll take it. Do this. We'll occupy it straight away. There we go. So now, we're making a little bit of extra cash, not just from the settlement, but from the tax bonus. An extra bit of gold already. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Just telling me where I can go for next. And we got the Battle of Bloodpine Woods. I think this was in Warhammer 1 as well. So those that want to break away from the rule of the Emperor are nothing but tenacious. They have sent a request for assistance to their allies in the north, and this appeal has been answered with covert detachments of men. Our spies have revealed the massing of a military force in the Bloodpine Woods. Take the fight to them before they can grow into an army. So if we complete this mission here, and we can have a look to see, they're going to have quite a few units, especially the artillery. It is the same battle we basically fight in Warhammer 1. But we can do this. Not only do we get a magical weapon, but 200 prestige and a battle wizard that can join us in the army and add some magical firepower. We'll go for it eventually. We also got a fractured nation. We need to occupy, loot, raise or sack 2 different settlements, which, funny enough, is the missing 2 regions that we have in the Wakeland province. So we'll go for this. We'll give us extra 2,000 gold. Okay. You know what? I can't remember what the Empire uses as their currency. It is gold, but I can't remember what they actually call it. Imperial gold? Something like that? Who knows? Anyway, we've got plenty of gold and we can actually do some building. So let's have a look in Altdorf. What can we do? We can actually spend a bit of population surplus. We'll do that for Altdorf straight away. And where we're going to target next, we're taking Grunberg. So if we come down here, we've got Ubersreich, so Underreich, basically in English, if I remember my German correctly. It's been a long time since I've spoken my German, but I have a gist of at least how to say some of the stuff. But what do you have? Training field. Okay, that works out quite nicely. Once we capture it, we can dismantle this one and replace it with something a little bit better. Because, you know, when you get, well, standard practice in Warhammer and Warhammer 2, any of these buildings that are above level 3, you want to build in your province capital. Any of them level 3 and lower, like for example the barracks, can be built in one of your minor settlements. Unless it's something like, you know, a trade resource like pottery, here for example. Typically you want to keep those in your main, you know, wherever you can build them. But something for us to bear in mind. Anyway, excuse me, I'm trying to click behind you, thank you. Right, so we've got the building done. Let's recruit a few more units now that we've got a turn to do so. So one other thing we can do as well, we can actually recruit from the elected count state troops. So not only do we have regiments of renown that anyone can recruit, we also have these. Now, these are unique to each elected count. So for example, Suitzen's guns here, the mortar, we can only recruit them if the character in question leading the army is the elected count of Talabekland. Or, for example, Deliverance here, which is a mod on the Steam Workshop to replace Wrath of the Empire, just because Wrath of the Empire is a Midland tank, not a Vigilant, so swaps it around a bit. But yeah, you need to be the elector account of Vigilant in order to recruit it. So as the one for the Reikland, we get the Karabberg Greatswords, a well-known, respected, famous unit in Warhammer lore. But we have to wait 15 turns before we can recruit it. So in the meantime, we'll go back to our normal troops. What we're going to get? I'm thinking, let's get a unit of archers, because then we have a unit of archers, crossbowmen, and handgunners. So 3 units of ranged units, quite useful. And then let's go for the moment, halberdiers and spearmen. Next turn, as we make our way towards Ubersreich, we'll get some Free Company militia and maybe another unit of halberdiers before we go into that fight. We'll wait and see. And what else do we need to do before we start working on diplomacy? Well, we've got research here. This tech tree is all changed as well with the updates. So what do we want to try and update? We've got infantry here. That's a few nice bonuses. Cavalry, not such a big deal since we've only got the 1 unit of Wakesguard. Don't have any war machines. Could be useful to give extra ammunition. Assembly line, extra income from industry. Or tariff rebates. Let's go for this one first. The extra growth will be quite handy. And then we'll go for state troop standards next, once we finish that. Next, points. Let's have a look. Now, I've got a mod called Skill Points Jump as a variation of Subidi's 2 points a turn, you know, a rank. So what it does is for the first, I believe, 8 to 9 ranks, you get an extra point, and then from those onwards, you only get 1. With heroes, it's less, so I think they get an extra 4 points in total. Just enough to make it a little bit more personal without having the issue I had before, where it was like, I ran out of where areas to put points in. Because I was just going, you know what, 2 more points, crap. Put them in this one here, you know? So I'm glad, in fact, that might be a good one for us to go with. I'll tell you what, we got 4. Beast Slayer. Wanna try? He's supposed to, hang on, isn't he supposed to start with, yeah, oh, right. Oh, he gets a choice of 2 weapons. The Drakewold one and Dragontooth. To be honest, Dragontooth seems much, much better. Yeah, why would I actually go for this one? No matter, no matter. Anyway, we've got 4 points to spend. Let's go for Root Marcher, Spy and Presence, Hard to Hit to increase his melee defense, and I'm going to go for a point in Emperor's Finest. Considering that he's already got +5 to melee attack and defense for units in his army, giving him this is going to double that bonus, so all of a sudden we're looking at +9 melee defense. Eventually, as we work our way up, we get +8 for each, so with the bonus that's +13. That's actually really impressive for standard troops. Yeah, we'll go over that. Luther Huss, who we're going to give to you. Let's go Safeguard for extra armor, and appoint him replenish troops, just to help things out there a bit. You know what? Actually, no. Cancel that. Just go for 2 points in with... Oh, we can only go for 1. Okay, let's go for that and then afterward. Suppose I could have gone for training and increased our rank, but no matter. It's fine. So there we go. Next bit now, we need to have a look at the elector count system, because this is where fealty comes in. Each elector count has, as you can see, a screen here. Each of them will have a bonus trait for that character if they have been elected as the count. They will have a magical item, in this case Dragon Tooth for Karl Franz, and that special unit only they can recruit. Now, thanks to Mixu's Legendary Lore Pack, each of the elected counts are unique heroes with their own skills and so on. So I'm looking forward to recruiting a bunch of these. But it also gives me 2 things. 1, which enemies we're going to target first. Now, being the Emperor, I'm going to be very reluctant to fight other elector counts unless we have no choice, as in they declare war on me. But hopefully we can avoid that using Prestige. But the Wastelands over here, so Marienburg and that, does not belong to the Empire at the moment. Yes. As you can see here. Where is it? Here, Faction Fealty. It does not show fealty to the Empire. Likewise, over in Sylvania, they're the same. So what I'm thinking is we take these 2 back for the Empire, starting with Marienburg, and then we'll make our way over and in towards Sylvania to eliminate them, and in the meantime work on recruiting the rest of these. Now at the moment, Talabecland looks the most likely to join us. In fact, they may join us extremely soon because they're at level 7. They get to 10, they will actually offer to confederate with me. And likewise, Balthasar Gelt, extremely good down here in Solland. The 2 that don't like us, it looks like, is Espif for Visseland and Boris Todbringer for Middelheim. Not surprising, really, given their, well, a bit of history together. Right. In that case, what we're going to do next is go to Electoral Machinations. So we can spend the prestige to improve relations between us and another faction, or, you know, switch between them, just like the High Elves. So we'll stick with the Empire. Let's find Midland. Spend some in order to improve our relations with them. So we want that fealty to go up, you know? And then Visseland can do the same, especially for them. Perfect. So now we've done that. Last bit now, before we hit the end turn. And Jesus, this turn's end up quite long, hasn't it? We just need to go through these quickly. So let's have a quick look who's willing to talk and who isn't. You, Stirland, I'm quite happy to go for all of these, because this will give me access to Sylvania over here in the east. So let's see if we can get any money from you guys as well. Okay, I don't want to do all the way. So if I ask for all of this, and then just ask for 500 this time?
Very well.
Fantastic. Okay, Visseland seem to like us quite a bit now.
How can we help the devout men of the Empire?
Well, you like me, even though you haven't shown much fealty to me. Do I want military access yet? Not really. I'm just going to go for... Hang on, don't declare war. Just go for these 2. Perfect. Right. Talabecland.
It is good to see.
Right. We could actually go for a military alliance with them, thanks to the Empire Reloaded mod. As long as we've got good fealty with them and one another, we actually get this. Let's go for that and that.
Agreed.
Perfect. Might as well get the other Lacticans to help us when we can. Let's go for that, that. Try and get a bit of cash out of them too.
Not likely.
Okay. Let's go for that one, and that one.
On it.
Excellent. Okay, next, Osland.
I will listen, but my time is short.
Okay, let's try this.
A weak order.
Okay, trade agreements.
I'll ignore that.
Nope, non-aggression.
Indeed.
Okay. Gives us a good point to start things off.
Greetings on behalf of the Empire.
Okay. Like I said, I'm going to try and get as many friends as I can. So I'm quite happy to try and negotiate all of this. And I'm trying to do it quickly, so I don't bore you guys. Just watch me muck around on the diplomacy screen for a few minutes.
So be it.
Hence why I'm just clicking back and forth extremely quickly. So non-aggression. He's quite happy to take it. Midlands. What about you? Non-aggression? Okay, trade. Okay, I'll take that. Because non-aggression is going to increase our relationship with them, as well as the bonus that we've got from the machinations. So it shouldn't be too long till we can actually get trade with them. Marienburg I'm not going to touch because I'm going to be trying to conquer them at some point. I'll take those off you, Balthazar. So how much money can we get out of you for this? Perfect. Okay, Betonia, let's do the same with you, if you're willing. You're not willing yet, okay. Dwarves, not much we can do with you, we already got non-aggression. Greenskins, Kislev?
What could you possibly want?
How about you not being so rude, my dear? Okay, well at least we managed to get trade out of them. And then we got non-aggressions for both Temple Half and the Vampire Counts. Interesting. But there we go, that is everything. We've managed to make a bit of a boost to our income thanks to all the trade agreements. Let's hit intern. Do-do-do-do. Now, I'll be honest, I was actually quite tempted not to play as Karl Franz. Instead, I was planning to actually do my favourite of the Imperial provinces, and that's to play as Averland with the Mad Count himself, Marius Leitdorf. The reason being is, I think I've talked about it in other videos for Warhammer, but as a kid, I was very passionate about Warhammer and Warhammer 40k. It was one of my passions in life. You know, I really enjoyed the lore, the armies, the factions, learning about the world and so on, or worlds in the case of Warhammer 40k. But no one nearby actually collected armies, and so I used to spend my time buying the army books and codexes and just make armies, you know, on paper, on the computer. And so when I was making an Empire one, way back, I believe it was like 5th, 6th edition, it was the same edition that the Vampire Accounts just come out and was made separate from the Undead faction. But I really sort of took Averland as my province. I remember coming up with a backstory for my own Elector Count, who was the nephew of Marius Leitdorf, who died in 2049 Imperial calendar, if I remember correctly, because of a battle that took place in the Blackfire Pass. He took on, him and Karl Franz joined forces to take on a Greenskin invasion. And unfortunately, he died in combat against the enemy war boss. But so his nephew took over, and he was my character that I sort of come up with a backstory and a name, and I did a few other things with Averland to make them unique, but also following the lore. And I may talk about that in a future video. But for now, we've got our halberdiers and spearmen. Oh! Money is power. I think this might be from the Empire Reloaded mod I talked about at the beginning of the video. In the Empire, political power is often connected to economic prosperity. There is perhaps no group or organization that has a greater effect on economic prosperity across state borders than the Merchants Guild, the rumor being that many of the electors themselves are on their payroll. Using your gravitas, it may be possible for you to arrange favours for the patrons of the Merchants Guild, such as loosened regulations or tax cuts, in addition to more personal furtherances, in return for their help in advancing your political standing, or in considerable cost, of course. Now unfortunately, we couldn't do this even if we wanted to, because we don't have 1,000 prestige, not even in the last turn. So all I can choose is to do nothing at the moment, and hope that we may get this opportunity to come up again, because extra +1 of 40, very, very useful. So we'll do nothing for now. Oh, what? Another one. Okay, this one I know is from that Reloaded mod. So Marienburg is no longer part of the Empire since 2429 Imperial calendar, when Burgermeister paid a large sum of gold to the corrupt Emperor Day to the 4th, that guaranteed Marienburg's independence. There are many in the Empire who would like to ascend this deal, first and foremost the Count of Nordland, the once nominal ruler of Marienburg, now forbidden to enter the city-state under threat of death. What is your stance towards Marienburg be? What will your stance towards Marienburg be? So we could guarantee their independence and stand to the treaty, so it gives us plus 20 diplomatic relations. Marienburg stays independent, which means we get extra income from trade, but we can't declare war on them for 40 turns, and we get 3,000 gold in the treasury. Or we can insist that Marienburg will return to the Empire, one way or the other, and it gives us a penalty. I want to bring the Marienburg back into the Empire. There we go. Okay, this is for the Beast Slayer sword. We've managed to get the trade agreement, a bit of gold. We've got plus 20 diplomatic relations with Nordland because of our choice with Marienburg. We've done that. So all we need now is to get a mortar unit in Karl Franz's army. That's going to take a little while because we don't have any buildings at the moment that will allow me to recruit artillery. But once we've upgraded Altdorf, I believe, to tier 3, I think we might be able to get one. I'll have to have a look. But anyway, for now, let's get Karl Franz to start making his way towards Obersreich. Now, it's going to take 2 turns. But where's the... Okay, the border's just here. Let's move you here for the moment, Karl Franz. Because what I can do, I can take the opportunity now to get the 2 units of Free Company Militia and the halberdiers that I wanted. So we can expand the army a bit more. We'll go for that. Altdorf has still got 2 more turns. Okay. Let me have a quick look. What about Gunsmith Foundry? Hell Rocket, hang on. Great Cannons, okay. So yeah, Altdorf needs to get to tier 3 before we can actually build handgunners. And we can get a war wagon. Huh. Fair enough. Right. Royal Guard, Rider... Christ, I don't know what these Riders and Royal Guard are supposed to be. Huh, I suppose I'll find out. We don't have anything that adds new units. Like that Empire Reloaded mod does not add new units as far as I'm aware. I wonder what that could be about. Anyway, let's pop back on diplomacy a moment again. Because now we should be able to start negotiating a bit with some of the other factions. So I just want to check Midland, who now really like us. Trade agreement? There we go. It's only a little bit of money, but it all adds up in the end, doesn't it? Hang on, did you... No, you can't make it over yet. Right. Okay, I believe that's everything we need to worry about for now. Enter. But yeah, like I was saying, I really did like Avalanche as my thing of choice. So I remember... Because... I'll talk about it now, actually. Because what I did, I remember creating my own elect account. Like I said, it was Marius Leitdorf's nephew. I had a thing because I was quite young back then, so I just went with the more sort of... Because I don't believe it can actually happen. But I remember his wife was a wizard of the law of life, if I remember correctly. So using the more modern one, I believe I can't remember what it was used to be called. It was it Jade? There used to be the old name for it. Because Amber is the one for beasts. Amorist was... I think it might have been either Amorist or Jade. Jade, I think, was death. I can't remember. No, Jade was life. Yeah. Anyway, but I remember that. And the other thing I remember doing was things like... I had my own Knight's Order. Because in that edition of the Empire Army book, you used to have a Grand Master Lord you could choose from. As well as being able to eventually get... your own inner circle knights, normal knights, and so on. So I had my own knightly order, and they were the Knights of the Black Fire, whose sort of headquarters was actually in the Blackfire Pass, and were designed as an order that was supposed to protect travellers, as well as keep an eye out for any greenskins and other armies making their way through the pass. So, yeah, I knew enough to be able to make up little stuff like that, even at a younger age. Anyway, Free Militia has been recruited. We'll do one more turn, I think, and then we'll bring the facts. What's our chances of winning this upcoming fight?
Fight for our nation.
Okay, slightly in my favour. You know what? I'm going to leave this, And I will end the episode here. So, no, let's encircle. We'll fight this battle in the next episode just to kick things off. But in the meantime, let's have a quick look to see what else we can do. So we could, for example, upgrade Grunberg. But if we're going to take Ubersweg, I'd rather upgrade this one, so we can upgrade the training field in the when it gets the opportunity to do so as well. So yeah, leave it for now. Is there anything else that needs to be done? No. In that case, let's click on this, and I'll end today's episode here. So, for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed today's episode, and I do hope you join me next time for more Warhammer. But until then everyone, take care, and goodbye for now.